I think it's working.
Yes.
I think it's working, Piccia. Yay! Right.
Hurrah! Let me just share to my group.
Yeah.
People won't mind.
Sure. Whilst you're doing that, I'm going to do some massive self-promotional stuff, which is a bit naughty, but I'm going to do it anyway.
It's not at all. It's your group.
Oh, okay.
Your page.
Right.
You're live. You can do whatever you want.
Right. Okay. I like it. Thank you. That's good. So I'm putting together this Black Friday thing.
I'll go on it. I need to go on it. I need to give you my details. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, if you go to wpbuilds.com. Sorry, I should say hello, everybody. I'm so sorry. God, sometimes stuff gets
hello, everyone.
Panic and fluster and all of that. And anyway, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. We are here. And I'm just going to talk about something that I've been building for the last couple of weeks. It's just a page on wpbuilds.com. It's wpbuilds.com/black. And if you're a product owner, please feel free to fill out this here form, because I will put your deal onto the page.
We will fill that here form, their form.
That there form. Rather. And if you want to keep up to date with deals as and when they happen, fill out this form, this button here, and I'll just send you a plain text email. Literally, it's like 100 words of plain text. And I'll, each time a deal comes out. And if you want to be able to sort of search and filter these, I don't know, you could say, I only want to see things that are on that are SaaS apps, or I want to see things that are 20% off.
You're so clever, clever.
Whatnot. And then, you scroll around and find them. And these are the ones that are live at the moment. And share it all over the place with these buttons here and these buttons here. You know how it goes. But
can I just say, Nathan, that in terms of UX and UI, filters are the best thing since sliced bread for UX and UI. They're just the best way.
I thought that button would kind of stand out being yellow a bit.
That's great. Yeah.
And then it pops up and then you can sort of dismiss. Anyway, we're not here to talk about my site. Absolutely no way.
But it's good.
Yeah. But Piccia, it just occurred to me that we haven't actually shared your screen. So if you want to share your screen.
No. I'll do that.
Probably the best thing to do is either to share your screen or to share your Chrome browser. Unless you're going to do anything outside of Chrome, it's probably best just
actually
share.
So I actually used Firefox for this. I had all my does it have to be Chrome? Is that what it means?
Well, Chrome is if you're using Chrome, then share Chrome.
Select window. No, it's just that I have select window, allow.
Chris, you are right.
Okay, so no, it doesn't like Firefox. It needs to be Chrome.
Yeah.
So bear with me 1 second,
that's all right.
Friends mine.
Chris, yeah.
Because I had to prepare the windows in Firefox.
That's all right. It's done with Facet WP, Chris, just out of interest. The search and the filter, Facet WP is a plugin that allows you to just sort of create facets, searchable, filterable. I mean, you could do a lot more than this. This is just a couple of things. I tried not to overburden it. But and then this is a Beaver Builder layout with, I think it's UABB off canvas slide-in module. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, it wasn't difficult to put together. It didn't take a long time.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but we have a slight problem.
Oh no!
Because I joined. It's only slight. So I joined from Firefox.
That's okay. What I would say you do,
I can, just
open up.
It's not allowing me to do that. It's just not letting me do that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I can keep talking for England. That's fine. What I would suggest is that you go use the exact same link that I sent you to log in on Firefox and do it on Chrome instead. Chrome. So just remove yourself from this.
Sorry, friends.
That's all right. No, that's fine.
I can remove. Should I remove myself from this one? Leave studio. Yeah. Okay.
That'll do it.
Bye.
That's in a minute. See, that was the shortest UI and UX review session ever. I'll tell you how that all came about. I used to use a piece of software called Ecamm Live, and I've converted over to this wonderful thing, which is called StreamYard. It's all done in a Chrome browser or Firefox or whatever. And it's a little bit new to me, and it just never occurred to me that Piccia wouldn't be using Chrome, so I didn't actually get her to test that, which was a rather silly of me. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Piccia always goes through a couple of websites that she's found, what you can do actually, if you go to wpbuilds.com/UI, type that in over here, wpbuilds.com/UI, you are going to get to a page where you can submit your website. So put your name, put your email address, put your website, and any further comments. And you can optionally subscribe to our newsletter. This form gets obliterated after 14 days. And yeah, Piccia's back.
She is.
Let's see if you can. Oh, thanks. Carl says he's submitted.
Yes, he has. That's why he's here. So
Richard Bland. Share screen. So has Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if the share screen can work
share
this time.
screen.
And I will remove my screen because we don't want to see that anymore. And let's see if yours pops up. If not, it's going to be the shortest UI UX session ever.
Application window. I think that's the right one to do.
Hey.
Oh, that's really weird. Okay, so it does let me share the Firefox window. It just didn't want to work from Firefox. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
We're there.
Right, so let's make a start then. So the intention here is to go for about, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that's probably about as big as we're going to need to go. What I'll do is I'll remove our faces and just go front and center when we get started. And Piccia is here to just go through a few things. Like if none of this is your site, stick around because you'll learn a ton. I do every week. I'm getting to know the mind of Piccia a little bit now, so I can immediately see that she's going to like the left align of this. This is all good. But let's hand it over to you, Piccia. Our faces have gone. It's now just the screen. Let's go for it.
Okay, so you are also welcome to submit clients' websites that you're working on. It usually is like that. People do that, but I think this week it's mostly agency websites, which is going to be really interesting. So, and also, I usually don't want particularly to look at the websites before. I hardly ever do that. But I've now realized that it's actually quite good to have some information on the website, like who the audience is, what your final aim is, things like that, because it helps very much to give more UX advice, because the UI is just factual, is kind of what I see. That's different. But if we want to do a bit of UX analysis as well, knowing what your main goal with your website, what you want, whether it's for people to contact you or for people to buy something off you, is actually quite useful to know. So those of you who are there and who haven't told me that, like it's Kyle and Chris, and I don't know who this is, if it's someone I know. Maybe it is, and I do you know who it is?
The Bamhandra Bland is Richard Bland. That's him. It's him.
Oh, yeah, of course it is. It's Richard Bland. I know him. Yeah. Of course I do. So, although anyway, there's already, a lot, but I have realized that often I have questions when I, okay. So here we are, Sleek Web Designs. I don't. Do you know who Sleek Web Designs is?
I have been shown this, but regrettably, my memory doesn't cope, and I can't remember.
No, mine doesn't either. It's like I need external hard drives constantly. So web design that people love. Get your website in 10 days. So that's a really clear message. Get your website in 10 days. I am not sure that I connected very much with web design that people love. Maybe that's not, I don't see semantically like there's much of a connection. Maybe it could be something fast and lovable. So connected to the fact that, 10 days is really quite fast to get a website. Do you know what I mean? So to make a connection of meaning with that, the big strapline and the sort of the tagline. So what's missing here? So I love how I think there's something else that you might already have, know already. I mean, you said it right. I really like the left alignment, and I really like how the photo is clearly a real photo. These are real people. It's probably not a stock photo, or if it is, well done, because it looks like a real photo of the agency. And I like how it's dark enough. The overlay is dark enough that the text is legible, even the smaller text. So well done. Now, I kind of have to say that I think I may be wrong, but also if I go down, I think that this is an Astra template. And it'd be interesting if the person is here, whoever websites this is, if they comment. I've got my phone here, but I actually don't see comments.
I can see the comments. I'll let you know.
You can? Okay,
yeah.
Good. Because I was seeing them before, and now I'm not. Facebook is weird. Anyway, doesn't matter. So, and that's not it's absolutely fine. Do use templates. I mean, especially for your own agency, my God, I think that the most difficult thing that there is in the world as a web designer is to design your own website. So, and actually Astra has really great templates, to the point where sometimes I actually would prefer maybe another theme, but because there's a template I got my eye on that works, I will use that template. Now, in terms of UX specifically, templates are really frowned upon, simply because a template is a template. UX is meant to be really very, very specific to what you do. So a template will not solve your audience's problem, because your audience is unique, and a template by its own definition is completely generic. Having said that, you can tweak a pretty template, and this is a pretty template. I've used it for a project that then didn't quite happen, which was a website as a service platform for beauticians in Italy, and then it didn't happen. But I used this template because it's really, really nice, and that's why I recognize it. I think this has been changed, because anyway, this looks great. I think that the typography is Google typography that just works really well. It's just lovely. So I think this first bit is great. What I would recommend is a call to action. There's nothing here. So this is kind of above the fold. It looks lovely, but there's no call to action. So I would recommend that. That's why it's useful to know, what is your goal? What do you want people to do? Do you want them to make an inquiry? Now, it's really good that you've got the phone number here, but how many people do you know that will see this and call you? So go, oh yeah, right, I want a website in 10 days. And then they click and call you. I don't think anyone does that. I definitely don't do that. I mean, if they do, hats off to you, well done. But I would always give a call to action. I really like the completely unobtrusive checklist. That's cute.
I think that might be active chat.
It's really
I'm not
nice.
sure. Yeah.
This is nice. So this is very nice. I'm very much about the UX of microcopy. So this is microcopy, the short, small messages that are all over our websites. So I would say, as we're not available now, comma, leave us a message, or just put a comma there. So pay attention to these messages and make sure that the same tone and the same messages are used everywhere. So if there's anywhere else where you say that you're not available, use the same language, because these things make people, well, they're part of your brand, but they also give people consistency. Like, for instance, I used my sales page for the UX course. Each button says something different, and then I've just realized that that's really bad UX. So if I say, oh, I'm ready, the call to action is, I'm ready to improve my business with UX. Then the next one will say, it still does the same. It takes you to where you can buy the course, but it says something completely different. And I've just realized that it's really bad UX practice. So, hands up, it is, because you're meant to, because it just changes. It's confusing. It's like, wait a minute, what happens then? Does something different happen if I click this button? And it doesn't. It takes you to the same place. So wrong. So these are, but we learn every day, we learn every day. So but yes, apart from that, which is actually important, the whole microcopy thing is really quite important. But I like this. You often hear me, as you know me by now, rail against animations. This is not. This is completely. It's just like cute content. It's not even that needed, but it tells me that this is interactive. It's not just an icon that's there for the hell of it. It's interactive. It's in black and white. I suppose it means that they're not there. And it's a really nice way of giving me that impression, because I can see it's active. So the fact that it's grayed out doesn't mean that it's not active. It just means that they're not available, which is great. So, hats off for this. This is really nice UX and UI of this chat window. But I would give and it's a really unobtrusive, and I like it much better than mine. And
it's Live Agent.
Drift, and
pretty sure it's Live Agent.
Very nice, because mine is drift, and it does too much, and I turned it off basically. So need a call to action here. Do something. Maybe not contact, but find out, get the prices, something like that. Then if I go down, okay. I would say that this copy is way too tiny, like really, really, really way too tiny. So I would recommend I've got exactly the same tablet. It's a Wacom tablet. Yeah, exactly the same. I've had it for like 10 years, still going strong. Love it. Much better than a mouse. So this is way too small. I wouldn't read it. And then also you've got two styles at the same time. You've got it's bold and italics, and even though it's weight and not style, I don't care. You can't have bold and italic. Also, why italic? I'm not sure why you would use italic here. Italics has a meaning. You use it. I mean, of course, semantically as HTML, when you use italics, it has a meaning. But in terms of pure styling, because I used to do editorial design, I've done thousands of books and magazines. You only use italics in certain circumstances to convey a meaning or a style. You don't here. There's no need for it, so I wouldn't use it. And I would definitely make it bigger, because I can't read this. It's a real effort for me, and I'm not even that bad. My eyesight is not that it's I wear glasses, but it's not that bad. So and then get started is a call to action. We're going to see what happens there when I click on this. I would say that transparent buttons I don't love, because with anything that's interactive, you really must make sure that it looks interactive. So as in the little chat, it's also familiarity, because if there's a chat window here, now I know that if I want to talk to someone, that's what it does. So I suppose that's enough. Oopsies. Familiarity now, and we know that transparent buttons are interactive, but anything that's interactive should look interactive. So maybe have a gradient. As I hover over it, it does look interactive, so that's fine. But transparent buttons, you have to consider that there may be situations where people maybe confuse it for something that's just text rather than interactive. Beautiful custom websites launched in 10 days. I like that very much. You're maybe that's what you could say up here, actually. Beautiful custom websites launched in 10 days, maybe. Anyway, here, way too dark. Here, there's not enough contrast. The gray of the numbers 010203 is too dark. Well done in graying out the image enough. Hardly ever anyone does it, so that's great. Well done. But the blue is too dark, and the gray of the three-step process, and this is way too dark. And I really would recommend making it bigger, because it needs to be. It needs to be also New York web design process. Exciting. Love New York. So especially in America, the requirements for accessibility are really quite strict. And I don't think anyone's going to sue you for this, but you need to make sure that you are accessible. You don't want to leave money on the table, because I am, someone who can't see very well. And I go, I can't read this. I'm just going to go and do it with someone else. But
I think this is Julio's site, Julio Adronde. I'm pretty sure it's his. just suddenly occurred to me. Yeah.
I don't know if I know him actually.
He lives in New York, and I have a memory of him sending one through.
Fantastic. So maybe I met him at Work Up New York.
Yeah.
So yes, this blue is slightly vibrates to me. There's this contrast with the black in the background, because they're a similar bright. No, of course not. They're not the similar brightness, but the saturation. So it's really interesting how when you use color on the web, you should make sure it's not too highly saturated, because it vibrates on the screen. And I'm using Firefox, which is much stronger, has got much more saturated colors than Chrome. And the blue against the black vibrates for me. So, and also it's not enough contrast. If you use one of the analyze contrast, tools, there are lots of websites that do that. This is probably borderline. So I would increase the contrast somehow, but thank you for making it legible by darkening the background enough.
So are you saying change the background, like reduce the opacity a bit, and
no.
Okay.
Don't make me say that.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Just choose. Ooh, I love this. I love it when people take the time to have the highlights in a different color than the default. No, I'm just saying to take the blue down a notch, because they're both very dark colors. So there's not enough contrast. I like this work. I love like this. I mean, make it white, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I love the blue. It's a lovely blue, but it's too dark. Because also the point but I love doing overlays because it gives texture to the text. It's a bit less boring. There's a bit of interest, texture and depth to the background, which I love. But there's no point in not giving a really dark overlay like this, because it's not about the image, is it? The problem then is always when the background fights with the text. It's like, you make your mind up, mate. It's either about the image or it's about the text. And if it is about the text, by all means, use a background like this. I do it all the time, but make it really dark. So there's no doubt that I want you to read. I don't want you to look at the image. The image is just decoration. And it works. So I really like it. And you know what I haven't found yet? Not even one centered text, which is just wonderful. I love it. So here is done. Here the contrast is great, and you get that kind of interest in the texture. Actually, I've been banging on for too long. We've got 4, so I need to now. I just want to see what happens if I click on get started. Website questionnaires. This person probably has been through WP Elevation. Could be or not. So this is good. There's a whole. I wish I could go on longer about this form. So I would put the get started in the above the fold. Basically, I would put it where you have your heading get a website in 10 days, but in terms of questionnaires, and mine are the same. I have, now that I've been doing all this research on well-designed sites and great UX and so on, there are ways of designing our questionnaires. We can do it. We don't need to be a big company with loads of money behind it. Build our questionnaires in a way that's engaging, and that's because I bet this is Gravity Forms anyway.
It is.
And we could do something that's fun to do and engaging, and about the user, about the person that wants to find out a quote or whatever from us, rather than just the boring things like your name, your email. Why should I give you your name and an email? Make it fun. And I always there's 2 insurance companies that I use as a comparison. One is called lemonade.com and the other one is aviva.co.uk. Those are the sites that I use. Yeah. And it's just such a different way of getting people to give you their details. We can all do it. You can really all do it. And I think it would make it so much more engaging. But anyway, so, apart from these things, this is just a really pleasant website. But I bet that this bit doesn't convert because there's nothing to do. So Well, it could, people could call them up, which is great. But I would put the get started somewhere here. Somewhere.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
Should we move on,
here.
do you think, Piccia?
Yeah, we need to move on because I'm sorry, I've just been rambling on. So I'm going. Is Kyle still there? Shall we do Kyle?
I'm going to put a few little comments up quickly. Chantal Edward Betsy says, I'm way too nervous to submit my sites. Go on,
no,
Chantal.
Don't. I'm nice. No, I've never been. I would always be only nice, because if anyone decided they would analyze the UX of my sites, it would be terrible. So I try and be nice.
And Carl says, I've got my boxing gloves on, and then says, big time, designing your own site is horrendous. Oh, that's Chantal.
Yeah, it is.
What does he say? Carl said something else. Got his boxing gloves on. Something about, here we go. Gonna throw down with Piccia or kiss. Okay, time will tell.
Because also Kyle is a great designer and he knows it. Now, I love this because look, is that, left aligned, really dark overlay, but it's really nicely done so that you have the left where the text is darker, but you do have a lovely image, diverse, gender, color. Love it, absolutely love it. Engaged, doesn't look like a stock photo. It looks like normal people having a fun conversation, looking at something. I love it. It's so nice, really engaging. Absolutely love it. Increase your presence online. Perfect. That's really clear. Powerful websites that help you easily, effectively, and affordably grow your business. This man knows how to do his messaging. He just does. Get a quote. So that's what he wants them to do. Now, I would say here that I would like for something to happen when I hover over. Again, so that people really understand that's interactive. The reason why using a gradient, for instance, on a button makes it look interactive is because it gives it a little bit of 3D depth that is like a real button that we want to click on. Now, our friend Vito Pellig, and actually I have to confess that I hadn't thought about it before, but he's right. He says that he never uses sharp corners for buttons and interactive things, because in real life, nothing has sharp corners. So if you're doing things, there's the word that I can't remember, to resemble real life, then you shouldn't have sharp corners.
All my buttons. Just refresh the browser.
What happened?
I think he's adapted it whilst you've been talking.
Or you're joking?
No, I don't think so. I think. Let's see. I don't see any change, but
no, not yet.
Okay,
but I'm sure he's doing. Yeah. Anyway, so the reason why is that reason, and also when I hover over it, the tip of my mouse changes, so it does tell me that it's interactive. But you can't assume that everybody will notice that. So that's why if it's 3D and if it has a hover effect, and also hover effects, I'm sure have to do with accessibility, which is again, really big deal. So I would do that. Now, because I have a call to action here, which by the way, I would make bigger and thicker. Again, old people that don't see that well. Get a quote is a bit, make it easier to read, make it bigger, because the text above is perfect size. And even the menus, usually menus are so tiny. This menu is just perfect size. Look how cute. Is that it? Is that a blur effect on the menu? Can you see? From what I see, there's a subtle change. Clearly, this looks interactive because the hover changes it. It looks like there's a blur effect on the background. I may be wrong.
Going on. Definitely something's going on.
Yeah. So what I would say here is nothing, because I was about to say that there's not much change in the background, but why? Because it doesn't matter, because anyway there is a change.
Oh, he says there's no blur, but
no blur. So it's just my eyesight that's crap. Something
Your old
because
eyes,
I've been looking at the screen too long. So yeah. So see, contact, the font size in contact is big. I would make get a quote. I think it's bigger than get a quote. I would just make that bigger. So because there is a call to action here, I am compelled. I have to, because it's there, and I'm like, yeah, I get a quote. It's also fun to get a quote, isn't it? Nice. So that's why. Okay, again, same thing. So get a free quote. Perfect. That's great because it's very low level commitment. Tell me a bit more about your project. Blah blah blah. I can provide it. And I think I know that this converts for you, Kyle. I think it does, but I don't know. So sometimes it's really useful to know, because then if it converts and you're happy with the way it converts, brilliant, leave it like that. But why not do a little bit of A/B testing maybe and having a more fun form? Again, same thing, because when you think about it, we're actually asking some clients really enjoy talking about themselves, so it's they will feel this. But for other people, it may feel like a really tall order to have to fit all of this in. And this is kind of okay. I love this. This is quite nice. This is great. God, this boy's clever. So this thing here, that's fun. I bet this converts.
They're all on critical, though. The default is critical.
The default is critical. Yeah, well done. So what is investment you've set aside for this project's success? Let me just copy this, because I remember that someone had it and I couldn't remember who. I remember I read about it in Kyle's group, and I'm just going to copy it. I'm not going to make it exactly the same, but this is brilliant. What is the investment you've set aside for this project's success? Don't call it budget. So this is great UI, UX of copy. This is really, really great. But I am just wondering, and I'm sure it does convert, but to make it a bit more fun and engaging, and instead of having, that's what I'm wondering, instead of having the whole form on one page, have successive pages like, hey, hi, what's your name? Great. And the second page is great to meet you, which is what Lemonade does. So guys, because God, I'm taking too long doing things, but check that out. So I'm wondering whether, so it's kind of fun to think, okay, next page, something else is going to happen. It feels like less of a chore. It feels like more fun, I feel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Is that clear?
I do like that, though. I like the split effect. I like the fact that he's got it offset slightly.
Yeah, that's really nice. I love that. Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah. So look, pricing guide, fantastic. God, this guy, the best experience I've had working with a web designer. There's a reason why people like Carl are successful, without a doubt. The only thing that I would say, because there's nothing to say, it's brilliant. The only thing to be careful about is the fact that blue and orange are complementary colors. Now you've made the blue dark enough, but it really vibrates for me, the orange against the blue, because that's what complementary colors, which I love. Complementary colors is always the best combination. It just vibrates a bit because they're both very highly saturated colors. Having said this, even if it vibrates, don't change it, because it looks gorgeous. I really like it. It does vibrate. I don't know if you see what I mean. It's like the really high saturation. Probably in Chrome it looks fine. In Firefox it looks very saturated. So so that's it. I mean, it's just great design. So, and it is, so the marketing is so well done. I'm just thinking whether it could be even better if, Kyle, check out lemonade.com and see how they do the form, how they get you to give them your details and tell them things about you in a way that's really fun and engaging. And we're going to have to move on because it's,
okay. Thank you, Kyle. Great site.
Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, great site. Really great site. I'm going to go and do Chris Hughes now.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice. So, yay. Look, left alignment. Love it. Thank you very much. But
I think they're all getting the message.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of quite interesting how, I definitely noticed when people have been listening, but then align, the button isn't aligned. So I guess I know that this has been launched very recently. So I would align the button as well. So see, this is the rounded corners thing that we were talking about. That's that Vitu Peleg recommends. He's right. Most of my buttons have sharp corners because it's not real life, and I like that. But yeah, it makes sense. So I like the fact that you hover over it and something happens. What I would say is that when you make the hover less strong than the normal state, then it may feel like it's grayed out rather than active. I'm nitpicking, but that's that is a point. I would almost rather that it was the opposite, although this doesn't have that much contrast against the background. So I mean, the hover doesn't have that much contrast with the background. So WordPress 24/7 support. That's it. I mean, what more do you want? For agencies and website owners. Now, I'll just make, so you've got the gradient background, which is a current trend. And again, I really like it because it gives depth. It gives a little bit of interest. It's a bit more fun than a completely flat background. I think that the illustration is really cute, but I'm a bit tired. There are a lot of these illustrations around. So, and a lot of blue being used for digital products. So even though it looks, it looks lovely, it looks really nice, but there isn't much of a way of distinguishing it particularly from someone that does something different, because it's something similar, because it tends to be all blue. Having said that, it looks nice. I'm not saying, it's, and it's fine and it does the job. So I'm not saying, it's not a criticism, it's just an observation of what's going on at the moment. And because it has get started, I immediately want to get started. So make sure that the button that you have here is what you want people to do. I think it is. Plans for everyone. I mean, to be honest, that's what people want to know. That's why it's really interesting and useful to have things like heat maps on your sites and to track what people do, because then you find out whether people scroll down the homepage or whether they just want to know how much it is. Okay, so nothing is sent. That's on the button is fine. I don't mind that. So I would say that you need to have different colors, because you have differentiated the featured one by putting the header on top that tells me that it's the most popular and that's the one that you want people to go for. But it's too samey. They all look the same. So I would make that different. Maybe change just the color of the featured one. And I know that this red is very red. So either change the other ones and make them blue, like the same blue. They had the what do you call this? Sometimes I don't have words.
Logo.
Not the logo. The top
Header?
of the. It's a tiny header, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The header. So maybe you make it the same or a. Yeah. What you could do. So because the recommendation with colors is to have a very limited palette. So you could use this blue, but in a different brightness or different saturation, and it would be slightly different from the menu, from the header, but it would have the same hue. So you're still within the palette. Make it less bright, make it less saturated, and use it in the other plans and keep the red for the best plan. Because also there's this general feeling that red is a stop color, but in fact, when buttons are red, people are very happy to click them. Usually, again, it's not a forever truth, but usually people click on red buttons. So that's fine. So there is, I find pricing tables really hard to lay out in any way, because when you have, and also you've done a good job, Chris, of making them all the same height. Well done. And you get that you do, okay, yeah, available add-ons. Yeah, it's kind of a long list, but I suppose that you need the long list. Why not? And you made them look all the same, be of the same height, which must have taken some work. All the details, no renewal contract, plan guarantee, plan details here. So this is a bit in terms of copy. It confuses me a bit. All the details, plan details. What's the difference? So these are not the details. These are the details. Anyway, very clear. I would say that this is extra clear, isn't it? In fact, I would be very grateful. It's quite rare that this kind of website goes into this level of detail, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot going on there, isn't there?
A lot going on.
Kind of hidden from the main content as well, which is quite a nice way of hiding it in there.
Yeah,
sometimes you go and it looks like a landing page, doesn't it? These kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. So this is very, very clear. I don't know why you've not centered anything and then you center plans for everyone. Don't center it, because I know the temptation, especially with pricing, but this is 4 columns anyway. Don't center it because it just looks like it's out of alignment, because everything is aligned. Look, even the logo, this header, everything is aligned. So align plans for everyone as well. One observation about pricing: underlining is usually associated with links and with something that's active. So this is confusing unless visually. So make it clearer that this is just decoration, because it's not that clear. And again, usually the underline, I mean, I like that the interactive, yeah, this is fine, I guess. Because you know that all links, all your links should be underlined. I mean, I don't think it applies to menus, but if you have a link in your copy anywhere, unless it's a button, it must be underlined. Yeah, it's an accessibility rule. Again, same thing about the buttons. Because you're using, I would just recommend making the buttons look more interactive with a gradient. That would be my best recommendation. Always just a really tiny, really, really subtle gradient. For users of Beaver Builder or Builders, it's really easy to do them just with a, literally click of a button, you can do it. So that's it really. Just center whatever. What is not centered. Expert support, deal directly with people. No white label service. Again, keep the alignment consistent, because whenever you change the alignment, it creates a distraction. The eye goes, "Ooh, why is that happening?" So I think it's great. So simple pricing plans. Okay, so this is a different way of doing the pricing.
Less detail. Far less detail.
Yeah. So that's good, but at the same time, I would keep it consistent. I quite like this. This is a case where it's centered and it's kind of fine, although I would try it out not centered. Whenever I mean, people hate me now. Last time, Ryan Davis, I did, because I do this also in my own group, and he said, please just don't mention the center. I know about the center. Okay.
One thing that I quite like about that pricing table is that it's got blank columns. I
it looks great.
Instead of putting a cross next to things that you're not going to get, just leaving it blank kind of. So from the point of view of a buyer, it gives me the impression that the Enhanced Pro plan is significantly better than the Maintain plan. Whereas on the other one, I have to look for the crosses and the ticks.
Yeah, because it's true. And actually, also the other one, there is slight overwhelm possibility. So again, I would say that this doesn't look interactive enough, and it's all a bit too red. So I wouldn't create a difference maybe by using different brightness or different saturation. So maybe, Chris, you could look at doing the same with keeping the rows, because this is a lot of information to wade through. Doing that, leaving the space rather than having the crosses.
You could just put a few line breaks in there, couldn't you, and just pad it out so it was the same height. So each included for free and available add-ons and all of that there at the same level, but there's just blank spaces. I don't know, maybe that would be.
And have lines that like you had there, because
I don't know really.
I think it's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, maybe also one observation would be maybe, because these are very long, so maybe keep that. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah. Yep.
So up to included for free, keep it in the pricing table. But as everything is rather than repeating the same information 4 times, have it in a box at the top or bottom where you say included for free. Do you know what I mean? And available add-ons. There's no point, because they are very long. So I mean, like I said, really designing, laying out price tables for with lots of information is really hard. But this would be my recommendation for it.
Okay.
Right. So because we not wasted, but we spent, let's say, like 12 minutes at the beginning fluffing about. It was my fault. Right. Now, Richard is a very good designer. So I love this.
Can I just say that I'm not being critical. It looks like Richard has got a target painted on his forehead.
It does. It does a little bit. Maybe it's even, it's wanted. So what I would say here is that to me, there is not enough contrast between the yellow and the white. You're in slight danger territory here. Yeah, I would just say that it's a little bit dangerous, but as it's a logo printed on the background, maybe we're too far ahead for this change. I don't know, but I would say that. But it's a really lovely yellow because it's not that bright. Like I said, I'm in Firefox, which is there's much more saturated rendering than Chrome, and it's a really, really nice yellow. And this is centered, but I don't mind it. It makes sense because and also the lines are not that wildly different. So the problem with centered copy, and it might happen later on. No, see, that's great. When there's a lot of
Piccia, just to interrupt you, he's asking, do you think that white font should be darkened?
No, because if you darken it, then it's too close to the background.
Okay.
I am thinking you would need to try, but I would make the yellow darker, maybe with a bit more red in it, maybe. It's a beautiful yellow though.
Yeah.
Because the point is that if you make it darker, if you darken the white and you make it grayish, it would be worse. The contrast would go down and it will vibrate a bit because it will. The gray against the yellow, gray against the yellow, gray against yellow doesn't work. Black on yellow works, but I mean, it would have to be very dark gray to work. You'd need to try, but don't change your logo though. I'm not saying that at all because as a logo, it works and it's lovely. It's a great logo. It's really nice. It's a really nice symbol. But yeah, I would play with it and use, again, like I said, use the same hue, but change the saturation and the brightness, and just to see what happens. You may have to change the hue for the web though, because colors on the web are just different. And also, I'm probably seeing a completely different yellow than you are, but what doesn't lie is the contrast. So check this with the various tools. Maybe the various, tools that are on the web to analyze contrast, maybe they will say it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's not like what I say is, I'm also giving you but the thing is, if even if one person says it, that's probably, it means that there is someone else that struggles to see the contrast. But having said that, it is again a little bit nitpicking because it's it is lovely, and it says, and also the font is big enough and thick enough that it makes it readable. Also, I've been staring at it for a while now.
Yeah.
Now I'm about to say something like the bestiality that I said before.
Can I just say a couple of things? I mean, obviously, I have no design skill. Well, I have the design skills of a cushion. You do,
but no, you don't.
But a couple of things that I really like. Firstly, it's quite unusual to see the person's face. So we got Richard, which is interesting to me. I think that's a nice choice. Makes it personal. And also,
he's not looking at you in any
no, just smiling away, and it just looks really nice, And then bit of nature in there as well, snuck in a bit of, and I like that. I like the nature.
And a cutout.
Yeah,
I love it. I love the cutout against the background, and I love the curve to the background. It makes it organic. It's really nice. It gives, and so it's a laptop, but, there's interest there. And I mean, for me to say that I don't mind that it's centered, it's quite something.
Yeah, he was saying, he actually made the point. He's waiting for the alignment to be criticised. But
it's not. The thing is, it is a real problem when there's ridiculously long lines but you are, and also I really resent it when you're not directing me, but I am directed because there's your face there. And so and I know it's a video, so it's completely human to want to go to the face. So you are directing me. And when the text is not aligned and it's meant to be read, then it's a problem for people with dyslexia. It's actually an accessibility problem as well. But it's acceptable sometimes in titles when the lines are a similar length and you're not making me go like this, or it's not super long line like that I have to scan, I need to. So, there are exceptions. I mean, in general, I wouldn't do it. I just don't see why you would. I wouldn't do it. But that's also personal taste to a point. So I feel like I want to quickly. I like it. Okay, this is nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
We are a
he says that he was going for like an approachable look and feel, and I think he's kind of smashed it in that sense, because it's
smashed
him.
It.
We got it.
I love the animation at the beginning. It's really nice. See how this dark gray works against this yellow. It works, it does. That's the thing. I would maybe try a really not fully black text, Richard, but dark gray. I think it would be safer. This is lovely. Look how you've done also it's as if you're if I make it full screen.
Yeah, it's going to feel like the site is. Oh, you can't do that. It brings us back. And now there we go. We've discovered something about the StreamYard platform.
Am I back? Is this back? No,
you'll have to somehow minimize that. I don't know what went on there.
Sorry, I'm just gonna share screen again. I think I have to share the screen again.
That's all right. Luckily, I wasn't doing anything like ridiculous, like, I don't know, picking my nose at that exact moment.
Yeah, picking. Anyway, this is genius idea. I love the way you've connected the video. It's really nice. I suppose it gives you YouTube views as well. Okay, so this is not centered. So this is fine. The important information that I'm meant to read, I can read easily. Same observation about the button. Flat, transparent buttons are a bit iffy in terms of best practice. But again, kind of nitpicking, because this is really nice. The only thing that maybe I would do is differentiate these a bit much. Maybe do like a checkerboard, or do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Just create some separation between but again, kind of nitpicking. Okay, so I can stop this, can't I? So it's a dreaded slider, but it looks like it's not moving of its own accord. No, it is. And I can't stop it.
Oh, you're not happy now?
No, I'm not happy now. So brilliant to have the testimonials here, and they're brilliant, and the just absolutely. But if I am really reading it and there's no way for me to stop it, it's annoying. It's going to annoy me. Unless I'm wrong, is it going to move? So it stays for quite a long time. That's for sure. But I haven't finished reading. So essential for UX is to give people agency and options. So I have got options, but I don't have quite full agency because I can't stop it. Do you know what I mean? So there would have to be a way for me to stop it. I can see the attention that you've put to making it possible, giving a lot of time, but you don't know how fast a reader I am. And also, is this readable by screen readers? Because the main problem with sliders is that they represent an accessibility SEO, but also accessibility issue, because there's never enough time for a screen reader to read it. So I hope that these are readable. If they're images, find another way, have them as text. But it needs to be. You need to be able to stop. It needs to be static. It mustn't move. And then people, if they're interesting, they go, okay, they can tell. You can see the arrows are faint, but still you can go, okay, oh, I want to know more. Oh, how nice. Oh, this guy is really nice. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's the reason why the slider is not ideal. So, I mean, in general, the yellow and gray branding is gorgeous. It's really, really, really lovely color combination. So I guess use it more. The yellow is the white is dangerous. So basically, another great website. Really.
Good grief! How have we
by a great designer?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a look at the pricing plan.
Okay.
Okay, pricing, local website boost. Build your website. Oh yeah, he does a really clever thing of the okay. So how this works. Okay, I'm just thinking whether this could be the, I mean, this is again something that is so hard to design to lay out in a way that makes sense. So I completely get that. I mean, this is great. Oh, align this, align. Because also lists, I had to come. Lists, especially, it just looks weird because the tick tells me that the line begins. So if it moves, it's disconcerting. It actually doesn't help me read at all. So I would definitely align that. So this is nice, but I would have it. I find it confusing that there are two columns, one next to the other. I know that you want people to know. I'm wondering whether it would be worth actually checking it out, because I love the fact that I love how this works. I love it. Planning session, it's fun. You know, I like things that I can make move, so it's fun. And I would almost have this up here, and then the price below, maybe with local website boost. We'll build your website and kickstart your local marketing all in one package. And then below how this works, and you get all the steps, and then below $250 per month, and it's worth trying. It's worth testing out, I think. And I just want to see. I love the fact that you've got the FAQs here. Contact us. I want to see the contact us. Okay, so it's like this. It's traditional, and I'm just wondering whether we can make that more. You know, exactly what I said earlier. We haven't looked at this.
Oh, that was flashy.
It's nice. Yeah,
that is nice. Full overlay.
I always like those. I always like them. I won't say the things that I would say, because I've already said them. So I won't say that. But I always love this kind of menu. It's really nice. And I know there's people who say that the sandwich menu is against SEO, blah blah blah. But I think that the homepage gives you enough to do that. It's fine. I like it. I think it's nice.
It says it's traditional for now. Now, Piccia, very important moment, because you've been doing this with me for, like, I don't know, probably this is the fourth one. And in that time, you have, is it? Maybe when, okay. During that time, you've been very giving, and you spent a lot of time doing this for absolutely nothing, and I think it's important that you get something in return. So, would you please spend a little bit of time telling us about what it is that you offer in terms of all of this, something that you want to tell us about, because I think that would be nice.
Yeah, because I think that people mostly think that I just fluff about on Facebook.
Yes.
So you can work with me if you want. There's a number of ways. So these reviews, I
just so that you know, if you're going to show something on the screen, I can still see Richard's site. I don't know if you wanted to put anything on the screen.
So can I. The thing is that there's one link that I haven't prepared that I should have prepared, and I'm just wondering where I can find it. Well, there's nothing wrong with having his website there. It looks lovely, doesn't it?
It does.
So let me see. God, so annoying. I'll have to. I'll actually stop this sharing. Stop screen sharing. Okay. Because then I can look for the link undisturbed. Okay, yeah. So basically, these reviews I do as a proper audit of UX and UI, and it goes quite in depth, and it's really super useful because you can do it for a client. For instance, now I've done it for a client that wanted quite a lot. They also wanted a code audit, which I don't do. I work with other people, but I do like proper in-depth audits, and at the moment they're on sale. Not on sale. It's an intro offer, which is in-depth UX UI and review, and that's what I'm looking for here. And I'm gonna copy it. and paste it, if I may. Where should I paste it?
If you put it into the browser that Rich was on and then reshare your screen, we can put it up there and get in touch.
Okay, we could do that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So this is and you can buy this, and at the moment is at 275 euros for an in-depth review, and it comes with a written report. It's very, very useful because there's a lot of immediate takeaways. There are also, I'm gonna reshare. I've lost you now though. There are also StreamYard. Here you go.
StreamYard, the icon looks like a duck.
It does. Application window. Here you are. It's really useful because it's stuff that you can use over and over again. I always give you the reason. So I won't just say don't send a text. I'll say why you shouldn't send a text, and you will hate me so much by the time I've said it 15 times that you'll never do it again. And that's certainly a good thing for the future. So it's something that you take away and that you can use in, for the future as well. And sometimes it's really good if it's a client's website that and they can't see what's wrong with them, but you can, get an external person in to help. And then also what I've been doing, certainly in my group, is that when people want, I produce a report anyway, and they can buy it for something like 30 euros or something like that as well. I've been doing this in my group, which is a Design for Geeks group where we talk about design. So if you're not in there yet, please join it, if I may say so. I hope.
Of course. Yeah.
I've said it now. So
yeah. All good.
So yes, this is one way. And then also I am currently finishing, before Christmas it's going to be finished, this UX course, which I will copy somewhere else. A UX course for people like us, because generally speaking, UX is like something that is perceived, that's done by big agencies with big budgets. And normally all UX courses, and I know because I've taken very many, they're all aimed at making you a UX professional that then gets a job in UX with an agency or a company. But that's not, so my course is focused at creating a process for small agencies, designers, people like developers, people like us that don't have, or that definitely do follow already a UX process of sorts, because even a forms like the one that we've seen, you're already doing a little bit of UX. But actually you can, I really feel, because it's happening to me as I build it, that the course creates a mentality shift, and it makes you look at things in a really different way. And that's what's happening to me. And it's created all sorts of, and I had a long conversation with Kyle and Matt in the admin bar about UX a couple of weeks ago, and I really enjoyed that conversation. And so I recommend that you go see it and you see what I mean, because I don't want to now do it, do a spiel on it particularly now. But the reason is that now and until shortly after Black Friday, it's still at a really, really low price, at the very low price of $367. But I'm going to close it after Black Friday, and then I'm going to do a big launch in January, and it will launch at when the course will be absolutely finished, and it will launch at a much higher price, because it's 7 modules, masterminds, coaching calls, templates that you can download, all sorts of various, interviews, and there's a lot of content in there. So you will never, ever, 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 ever again be at this price. And let me just get the URL.
This is your UX for Everyone course, isn't it?
Yes, it is. No, you have it. You have the link.
I've got a URL there. Look. Just to be clear, this is an affiliate link. So if you
please use it, he deserves it.
Well, okay, that's very kind. But if you don't want to use the affiliate link, Google UX, not the number 4 as I've got in that link. I've got wpbuilds.com/link/UX number 4 everyone. But if you don't want to use that and you just want to go straight there, go Google UX for Everyone with the word 4. and you'll be able to avail yourself. Yeah, I can see on the site that it's going to go up very soon. Maybe I can put that in our deals page as well. But
yeah, please do it. And I was gonna put it up because I mean it's a decision that I made recently. I was like, I realized that I'm not going to launch before Christmas. I've got too much on. Okay. And also, a very important thing I want to say is that I'm Cloudways ambassador now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which is great. And the reason why I'm doing it is that they're really upping they've always been very interested in UX, but they want to give value back to the community very much. So they are sponsoring my talks, the content that I put out. They're getting me to create a lot of content for their platform. So it's a great collaboration. I'm very happy about. And I'm not an affiliate, obviously, because I now, I sort of, so I'm not saying, but there's no return for me to mention Cloudways specifically, just to be clear.
You're working with them.
Just to be clear.
Very nice.
Yeah, it is very nice because they are very, very committed to the content side of things, and which is one of the best ways to give back, I think, creating amazing content, I think. So I think that's all now.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll quickly put this link back up. So that is the affiliate link that I have. As I said, feel free to find it in alternative ways. And thank you so much, Piccia.
It was my pleasure as usual.
Well, it is. It's really lovely having you on, and ton of content, loads and loads and loads of comments came through on Facebook and YouTube.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, loads. I mean, I don't know how many, but thank you so much. Piccia, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to mute our microphones, then I'll end the live stream, but stay online and we'll have a quick chat. So
bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye indeed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.